All right, hey everyone, and welcome in. I am so excited today to introduce, although I'm sure you already know her, our wonderful guest, Jade from Cacao Conscious. I'm really excited today because we're going to sit down, Jade and I, and have a talk about her exciting new offering she has in her wellness company. She does the meditation and the yoga we all love, but she is starting a brand new offering called the plant-based shift, and I'm really excited to hear about it, what got Jade and where she started with this plant-based and helping her with, and all those things. I'm really excited to talk to her today, and I guess let's get started. So hey Jade, how are you? How are things?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you so much for the gorgeous intro. You always killing it, getting everyone excited for everything. So thank you for that. I'm super excited to be speaking with you today, and let's get right into it.
Yeah, so okay, I'm one of those people. I want to know all the things. I'm really excited. I don't know if you guys have checked out Jade's website, but her website for her plant-based nutrition coaching and offerings is so gorgeous and so inspired. So I guess I just want to start at the beginning and really hear about what got you into this. Like, just start at the beginning for me. Where did this all start from? Where did it come from?
Sure. Okay. So my plant-based journey began when I was 14, actually. I was in high
Oh,
school.
wow.
And I think one night I came to the dinner table and I said, "Mom, I'm not eating meat anymore." And she was like, "Okay, this is fine. Let's just figure out how to do this." So it continued, weeks after weeks, because when you're young, you don't really know if something's going to
Right.
stick or not. But she did a great job. She actually started cooking the meat on the side of everything and helping me with my school lunches. So that just became a lifestyle for me when I was in high school. And, I did have to learn to navigate the cafeteria in high school and bring my own lunches and my own snacks. And it was kind of awkward going to other people's homes for dinner time.
Yeah.
Because 10 years ago, it wasn't as prevalent as it is now to be plant based.
Yep.
So that was my journey when I started. And I actually lived across the street from my yaya, which is my grandma.
Love
Yeah, my yaya from Spain. She,
it.
she is like my best friend. She's part of me. She lives at my parents' home now. But she lived across the street from us when I was younger. So I'd always run over to her house to help her prepare dinner and set the table and everything. And she taught me how to cook. And I so many recipes from her that I've actually, taken all the meat and cheese out of. But
Yep.
so she, to this day, I love you, Yaya, and I know you're gonna watch this. She she still asks me if I'm gonna eat meat or cheese, and it was hard for her to accept the fact that I was no longer eating meat back then.
Mhm, mhm.
She cooked, and a lot of her meals and her casseroles and her spaghetti sauces had meat in it.
Yeah.
So she had to cook for both her husband, my grandfather, and my family. So she was cooking for a lot of people. So she, to this day, still asks me, and I every single time say no. So that was also interesting navigating that because we ate at her house probably like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So it was really special though. So it was fun.
Oh, I bet. I mean, the story itself sounds so great. I feel like I'm there, and how great and what a
Yeah.
wonderful childhood.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because it sounds like you have a family that's really based around like meals and sharing meals and
Mhm.
preparing meals.
Mhm.
And the fact that you needed something or you wanted something different was really encouraged rather than, outcast, which is different from a lot of people. And you're not only very lucky that you have that, but now
Mhm.
you get to share that with others, which is
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
So
Thank
I guess the next question I have, I mean, I have like a billion, but like you grew up with this,
you.
eating at home and all that kind of stuff, and you stuck with it for so many years. I mean, was were there particular reasons or benefits to why you ended up loving this
Mhm.
lifestyle or this way of fueling your body and feeding your
Mhm.
body?
Sure, absolutely. So I think when I first started, I was 14. So I think it was just like this tick in my head that said, you aren't supposed to eat meat. It wasn't really back then about, the animals or how
Mhm.
meat affects your body, animal cruelty, any of that. Because I wasn't I didn't really know as much
Right.
as I know now. So back then it was just kind of like a shift that it kind of like didn't appetize me anymore. And I was just like, I'm not supposed to eat it. It was just like a decision.
Yeah.
And as I grew older and when I went to college, it was still the same. I cooked a lot instead of going out to the um, cafeterias or the dining halls. And, it was a little bit easier to navigate in college because there were offerings at the dining halls there that
Right.
may had not been in the cafeteria at high school. So there was a little bit more room to play there. But when I got to college, then I really started learning a little bit more about how it affected my body.
Yeah.
My body kind of grew into a woman. I really realized that I had a lot more energy. That had more energy, kind of like bouncing back, I guess.
Yeah.
I never really felt tired or sick, and I just always felt so good after eating rather than like heavy and bloated.
Yeah.
So I continued to learn, how to like grow up with my body with fueling it through plants. I didn't need anything else because I was giving it everything that it needed to flourish.
Sure.
Yeah, so and then I moved to New York after I graduated, and there it was amazing being a vegan because every other corner there was a bodega or a deli with everything vegan, vegan brownies, top
Wow.
of the list. Oh my gosh, I love vegan brownies. um, they're my favorite. But it was a lot easier. There's a lot more of the plant-based
Mhm.
lifestyle there. So a lot of people are really into health there. And several of my friends were plant-based. So it was actually really fun. They had all vegan restaurants and we loved going out there. So there I also started gaining knowledge about the animal cruelty and how it affects world hunger and all of the additives they do have in the meat industry. So, over the years, I guess it kind of progressed from like that one decision of not to eat it to now kind of feeling, seeing, and knowing everything I've learned along the way. And now I'm like, wow, this is huge. Everyone needs to know this. I want to share it to the world.
Right. And so if I, and tell me if this is wrong, but if I could sum it up, it almost sounds like you did an accidental scientific experiment, right? You were like, I'm just going to try this and see if it works. And
Right.
as you were doing it and finding that you liked it, because you probably
Mhm.
wouldn't have stuck to it if you didn't like it for you,
Right.
you started seeing in comparison, wow, this tends to work better for me than it seems to diets tend to be working for other people. And not that we all compare each other, but in comparison in general, you're
Right.
like, wow, seem to have better health. I seem to have better skin. I seem to have
Yeah.
better energy, all these
Mhm.
things. And then as you are in that realm, you're learning
Mhm.
why these benefits are the way they are. You're not ingesting as many chemicals and additives and all these things, right? And so you saw the benefits, but then it almost compounded once you opened your eyes and saw it. The further along you got in
Yeah.
the world, almost, right? Like you're traveling, you're seeing people, you're going to different places in
Yeah.
college, work life,
Mhm.
and you're
Mhm.
seeing so many benefits. That's
Right.
awesome.
That's right on spot. And another thing I'd like to add is, several of my friends and most people they go through, different diets or they try something new. And I was always just stuck to like the plant-based diet because, it can be restrictive, but
Sure.
I always found a way to make it work, going to my friends' houses for dinner. And I never felt like it was a restrictive diet. So it's kind of
Right.
like mindset shift a little bit. It's not like a typical diet, it's just like a lifestyle. It's what you don't eat rather than like you kind of shift into this place where you might not want to eat it anymore.
Right. So maybe like you're choosing to eat the foods that you really love. And
Exactly.
you love them because they taste good and because
Mhm.
it's a great feeling knowing that they do well for your body. So you're not even thinking about, oh, I can't eat this or can't eat that. You
Exactly.
want to eat these things
Yeah.
because they taste really good. Like I just
Mhm.
filmed a video where I'm literally eating a cooked and cooled potato like an apple. And I'm like, is this weird? Like, I feel like people don't do this, but like, I love potatoes. So,
That's
like, I ate it
amazing.
because I wanted it, not
Yeah.
because I'm like, I'm on a diet where I can only eat
Right.
vegetables.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that from a fitness aspect, from what I see in fitness, there's a lot of dieting talk. I'm sure you know, in general,
Mhm.
as women, there are a lot of dieting talk. As men, there's a lot of dieting talk. But in fitness, there's a lot of dieting talk, like what you can and can't eat. But it's
Mhm.
just choosing and wanting to eat things
Right.
that are good for you is a much different thing than saying I can only eat chicken and broccoli, right? So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it is tough because a lot of people, they might not have the time or might not even know what resources to turn to because there is so much information out there.
right.
You know, like one day eggs are good for you, the next they're terrible, never eat them. And then one day, got milk. And then the next there's all of these alternative milk. And it's like, sometimes it might be nice to have, somebody to help you and guide you in a way. But it's been really interesting navigating this type of plant-based lifestyle or diet as it's kind of also evolved. So I've kind of evolved with it. Back then there was almond milk, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember I used to, because I have always been lactose intolerant, like Middle Eastern girl, lactose intolerant. That's how it is. And so I was like, soy milk was the only thing out there. But I have a light allergy to soy. So it still like kind of bugged me and I just gave it up. And I remember almond milk came around and
yeah,
I tried it and I was like, this doesn't bother me at all. This is
it was like the knight in shining armor. Almond milk was the knight in shining armor. But yeah, that was like really the beginning. And now, fast forward to now, we have like plant-based cheeses and all of these different types of milks. And they do have veggie burgers that might taste like animal proteins that
yeah.
for people, which is beautiful. Um,
Because supply and demand, there's a real demand for it now. But to snap a little bit back to what you mentioned before, like it's because one, it's hard to navigate because how do you do it? And it sounds like you have years of navigating this and probably explaining it to your friends how to do this and how you do it easily and as a lifestyle rather than a diet, right? And then also, I think it's so great. There's so many options, so much. And there's so much out there, even right now, about health, about nutrition, from the fitness aspect to the wellness aspect to the nutrition aspect to everything. But the problem with that is it's a double edged sword, right? There's so much out there that it's overwhelming. And so, what I like to do, and it sounds like what you like to do too, and that seems like what you're doing in this business, is let's break it down to what's easy. Like, let's just make this easy for you to
Mhm.
do what you want to do or explore what you want to explore for your body. And instead of looking at all this marketing, trying to make money, every single solution, like I get inundated with YouTube ads
Oh my
about don't do this and don't do that and don't do this. And I'm like, what? Like, how is this?
God, yeah.
So it sounds like, and I'd love to hear how this business idea bloomed for you, but it sounds like this is very intertwined.
When I first moved into an apartment with my roommates when I was in college, I started cooking vegetables all the time.
Mhm.
And they started tasting them and they kind of got into vegetables. And a lot of them tell me, you taught me how to make vegetables in the way that I love them.
Yes.
So I started realizing that I had I was like kind of inspirational to other humans on, just the way that I was eating. I wasn't really pushing it.
Yaya for all your friends. It's
Yeah, yeah. So I started there, and one of my friends actually went plant-based with me when we lived together in New York, and that was really fun. She also loves cooking, and we were super into it. So that was really fun to kind of experiment with different things and also be in a kitchen with another plant-based foodie.
yeah.
And then the most recently, my parents went plant-based at the beginning of this year.
Wow.
And their lives have changed dramatically. And I think that I started nutrition coaching, or I started the nutrition school to become a nutrition coach
Yeah.
after I saw the changes and the transformation that they went through. Because I was like, all right, this is crazy. They
It's really like you were able to walk them through, showing them how to do it and change their lives for them. And of course, they're changing their lifestyle, but
right,
you're helping them along that path.
yeah,
And maybe this is a leap and a jump for me to say, but it sounds almost like that was so beautiful to see. You were like, I have to help other people who want to do this too.
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
I
That's
love that.
they're like my guinea pigs, I guess. But it was just so nice for them to be open because I had been plant based for so many years, and then we watched this documentary on Netflix called Game Changers,
Mhm.
and they both agreed to just try plant based for a month, and they haven't really looked back. I mean, they sometimes they'll have a little bit of fish on the weekends, but that can still be part of a plant-based diet. A lot of people, we can do a whole nother video on like what is plant-based, what is
Oh,
plant-based
good.
vegan.
I'd love to see more videos on this
Very-
because I want to learn. Yeah, this is great.
It can be a hard, couple words to navigate because it's a very gray area with a lot of people. But
But it
anyway,
sounds like you are helping people create the lifestyle and the diet within that lifestyle that they want. So it's not necessarily a set of rules, but
right.
rather how can I be healthier and enjoy more plant-based, right? And so
Exactly.
that's probably why it's very different for everyone.
Yeah, and it can be fun, and it's a way to like look at your lifestyle and how to shift it just a little bit so that it works for you. It's not like all or nothing. Oh my gosh, I have to run this marathon.
Yeah.
It's
Little
just like
clapping emoji, and I am cheering that on. Thank you.
beautiful.
That's awesome. Well, okay, so on that note, I want to talk about this forever and I want to hear all the details. But, now that you have invited, I'm going to go in for the ask, like the guy, or maybe the girl. So I'm going to go in for the ask and hopefully you'll be able to tell us more. Maybe we can do some more upcoming videos on how exactly you changed, what plant-based is and what it is not, and what it means for you, how it affects your health, all those things, that's a good ask. But I would love to hear more about this. And if any of you guys would like to hear more about this, please let us know down in the comments what you're interested in hearing. If you're here to hear from Jade and just say, hey, let us know. If you're here to learn more about plant-based diets and plant-based lifestyle, if this is something you want us to try, how to try it, let us know your questions. We'd love to hear them. I want them answered too, because I'm really interested, and we can get your questions answered too. So use this as your free resource. And I'm so excited to have you. I'm so excited to hear about this. Congratulations on your new offering. If you have not checked out Jade's new site and her new offerings, I'm going to put a link down in the show notes here, down in the description, so you guys can go and check that out. I certainly am too. And hopefully we'll be able to bring more from the beautiful Jade.
So much, Katie. I'm so excited about this. Like, I'm so passionate about this plant-based lifestyle that I just want to share it with everyone. So thank you for, sharing your community with me. And I'm so
Yeah.
excited to our next talk.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear more. So we'll see you guys later. Thanks again for joining us, Jade, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yes.